The Chery Tiggo8 Pro Max was on our driveway not that long ago. It's back again because there's a little difference. And that's this little badge. But is it a little difference or maybe a very big difference? Let's see. Hi, I'm Alan R. Welcome to MotorMatters, Change Cars and all things motoring. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Or even better, sign up for membership of the channel and you'll get lots of benefits. You'll see videos before the general public get to see them. Plus, there are going to be some really nice giveaways coming on the channel soon. Just go in and hit those buttons. We really appreciate the support. Chery's Tiggo8. Interesting how they've developed the model over the last, 2 years, is they brought out the Tiggo8 Pro, then they brought out the Pro Max. Now, this is the Pro Max all-wheel drive. That's right. We previously tested it just with front-wheel drive. Now they've added the all-wheel drive functionality and efficiency to it and put all that extra to the car. So what you've now got is the 2-litre engine, turbo, obviously, petrol engine, putting out 187 kilowatts, 390 newton meters of torque, which is plenty, through a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, and it now drives all 4 wheels. Big difference in a lot of ways, and can make a lot of difference. Checking out just the car generally quickly, it's got that very big bold Chery front, you can't miss that, the big grille over here. You've got LED headlights. It's got features like that obviously are nice and make a very big difference. Very nice 2-tone mag wheels over here. They look very good, they look pretty nice, and they're 19 inches, so they're pretty big as well, pretty significant. You've got a fair amount of chrome on the car as well, and you have got auto locking and unlocking, which can be a little bit sensitive at times and lock when you don't want and things like that. But you know what, rather be safe than sorry. Privacy glass, notice that. And a nice big extra window in the C-pillar, which is important because don't forget, this is the 7-seater model in the range. So you want extra glass area for your rear passengers. Now, when you swing around and have a look over here, you'll see a few features that are important. The middle seat, for example, can slide backwards and forwards, obviously to allow for using those rearmost seats. I've got it in the rearmost position right now. The driver's seat, set for myself, but you do have the comfort access. In other words, it's moved back slightly for me to get in and out, and then adjusts automatically when I start the engine. So there actually is even more legroom than this when you are on the move. You've got air conditioning over here, vents over there, which are nice and useful, and you've got a USB-C and B for the rear seat. Another interesting feature is this here. If you're being chauffeur driven in the Tiggo8, you can actually operate the front passenger seat from there. Now look at the legroom you could have if you just sit on that side and just get that seat right out your way and you want to actually be chauffeur and limo driven, can I call it that? Nice treatment over here. You've got the almost fake wood effect speakers, lots of leather throughout, of course. Color, well, it's up to you whether you like the color or not. I think it works fairly well with this car, so it's a nice feature as well. We'll look at the 7-seat access just now, but let's just come round to the back in the meantime and have a look over here. You've of course got that light bar that goes all the way across the rear, which is a nice feature, and of course you do have auto tailgate, which is nice. Now, I've specially kept these extra seats up for you because, like every other car in this range, you can see you've got your toolkit over there, for example, and your spare wheel is underneath. So those are things you expect and want. But now, the Allen test, well, like all its competitors, so no, Chery, I'm not picking on you right now. I'm afraid the Allen test isn't even a half Allen boot. Leadfoot would love to chop me into pieces. That's the only way you get any of me into a boot in 7-seat configuration. However, and this is what I like about all similar 7-seat cars, is you pull that lever, you flip down. Let's actually do both of them quickly. Put that down, and now, well, this is very clearly a 2 to 2.5 Allen boot in 5-seater configuration. Now, this is what I love about these cars that have the 7-seat option. In 5-seat, you've got a giant boot, and that's really nice to have. Another feature you do have over here is when you're using that third row seats, look there. The third row seats have even got their own aircon controls. That's a nice little feature indeed. So keep that in mind if you are going to put passengers into the cheap seats. Close the boot or the tailgate. Look at those 4 big bore tailpipes. Telling you this is the performance model of the range. And interestingly, this is a Chery thing. That number is the torque figure. 390 Newton meters. That's pretty significant. Let's check it out on the road. Let's check it out inside, and you'll see what I mean, and we'll show you a lot more features of the car. Okay, so what's it like if you want to use those third row seats? Well, pop open the door. I then suggest you slide that seat as far forward as it can go, and you flip that. Now let's have a look. Right, I'm in the back seats. Legroom, I'm not going to move that seat back. It's just going to be too awkward right now. But legroom obviously will be limited. Although if I push that seat quite far forward, compromise the middle passenger, it won't be so bad. But what is not bad is headroom is okay. I can definitely sit here. You've got a nice armrest on the side here with cup holder. And as I mentioned, you have the aircon control over there. So you've got all of those things which are useful. Not for adults, fine for kiddies. I'm going to give it that score rating from MotorMatters.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm the owner of CHANGECARS and the host of the TV show All Things Motoring. I have one mission, and that is to make a difference to the motoring public. Making a difference how? Making sure that you have safe options, making sure that you have knowledge. In that regard, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to work with Alan Rosenmeyer of MotorMatters. The man with a hat, I'm the man with no hat, he's the man with the knowledge. Thank you for watching.
On the road, the Tiggo8 Pro Max all-wheel drive. It's smooth, it's comfortable. Although it's got plenty of power, I must say I prefer to drive it in a fairly relaxed manner. Either eco or normal mode, I don't think it matters that much. But one other little picky point of mine, I've just put the indicator on, and like a lot of the Chinese sourced cars, the ping pong and the bing bong and whatever you get in this car can drive you a touch mad. But I suppose you can get used to it. But the power is good. The gear shifts are very smooth, very relaxed. You don't feel them. The lane keep assist and the lane warning can be a bit intrusive at times, but I'm fairly sure you can also adjust the strength or severity of them. So it's not a problem, and you know what? I'd rather have more safety than not have it and compromise on safety. So it's a case of, if you own the car and drive it for a while, you will get used to the systems and you'll get used to how they feel and exactly how they work in day to day. For me, it's just a little bit more because obviously as I jump from car to car, I notice these things more immediately and maybe don't always get enough time to actually get used to them. But it handles nicely, it handles sweetly, and it goes very well. The acceleration is pretty good. How do you like that? Can you feel that when you just put your foot down for a moment? There was a tiny bit of turbo lag there, but really, I'm being picky here and I'm saying turbo lag in the sense if you were trying to use the car on a racetrack, not running around an urban area. So can't complain about that at all. As always, let's start off behind the wheel, and you can see you've got, of course, your TFT instrumentation. It's big, it gives you everything you want, it tells you what you want. Although I've got to tell you, there are a few things that I've struggled to find on this car. I managed to find the trip meter, which gives you your fuel consumption on the current trip that you're running. But I'll be honest, I can't find the overall consumption on this car. So I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. But I can tell you that in general driving, I've been showing, whenever I've checked it, around the 9 litre per 100 mark, and that's in urban driving. I did a freeway test yesterday, and I feathered it. I'll tell you now, it was an economy run, and I got it down to 6.2. And in fact, it even showed 5.9 for a few moments. So yes, if you drive it really, really cautiously, you can get down to figures like that. You've got, of course, all your controls on the steering wheel. Now, being the Pro Max, of course, it's got active cruise control. It's got all the active safety that you'd want in the world, and it's got all those features. Obviously got auto headlights, auto wipers. All these things are what you expect from a car that is claiming to be the top of the range. And you've even got a Sony sound system with plenty of speakers throughout the cabin as well. Starting on the infotainment screen now, you've got this nice large screen, which again gives you everything you want. You've got wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and it generally has been picking it up very, very nicely, although I still prefer using a cable. You've also got the voice activation. Hi, Chery, which works sometimes and not every time, I have to be honest, or maybe it just doesn't recognize my voice. I'm not sure which it is, but anyway, it's there, and if you have enough time, you'll get your head around it and you'll make it work. You've got controls over here for your ventilation system. There you go, look at that. And you've even got seats over there if you want to press that to heat or cool both front seats, which is really a nice feature as well. So there you go, your ventilation. You can control fan and a few other things and temperature from this panel here. So you've got your choice of which way around you want to use it. Neat, and you've got plenty of vents all over the place. Down here you've got, of course, your inductive charging pad for your cell phone. Works nicely. 2 USBs over there, and you've also got the dual height, the lower little console panel section over here for hiding things away, or if you're running on cordless or wireless, then it's nice to put your phone down there, maybe make it a bit more secure. You've got this pistol type gear shift. Well, you can go into manual mode. I really don't see the need, I'll be honest with you, but it is nice, it's neat. And of course you've got electronic parking brake and volume there, nice volume scroller over there, which is also a useful little feature. And over here, that's to go straight to navigation and your camera settings as well. If you press over there, it should come. Let's have a look at the camera. There you go, you can see you've got your rear camera, you've got your overhead camera, and don't forget Chery, of course, when you stop at a robot, it gives you that view of everything around you as well, which is again a nice feature. Now, obviously the all-wheel drive model adds this knob over here, which is the mode knob. Now, just rather go onto the screen, and let me just get rid of that. And if you have a look on the screen, if I swivel the knob quickly,
normal mode entered.
It goes from, you have eco, normal, and sport mode in your drive modes. You saw that there. Let's just turn it again.
Entered.
Below it, you have your 3 other modes, which are for road conditions.
Normal mode entered.
Off-road, muddy, and snow. So there you go. You've got your choices. Now, obviously, as I said, that applies only to the all-wheel drive model. And that, to me, is a massive, massive safety net. I like all-wheel drive cars, not to go off-road, although if you're on dirt, it's nice, but where it really comes into its own is on wet roads or something like that, where you can allow for that. It also does have, I've got to tell you that we did experience in this car autonomous emergency braking, both front and rear. And as I was reversing out of a parking bay in the shopping center, the car decided that there was a car coming across and rather violently stopped it. Now, yes, it was a bit of a violent stop, but at the same time, I'd rather have that than have the car come across and hit me in the rear. So kudos for features like that. You've got full leather treatment throughout, and you do have electric seat adjustment for both driver and front passenger for a change. So many cars only offer it for the driver. The driver does have 3 memory settings as well, and a panoramic sunroof. Well, those are features. as I say. So you've got all the luxury features you want. The finish on the dashboard is neat, although you do have 3 or 4 different finishes. It's all well put together. So my question now comes. The Tiggo8 Pro Max front wheel drive almost felt like it was unnecessarily powerful with 187 kilowatts and was very difficult to control the front wheels on a normal pull-off. The all-wheel drive makes a world of difference. Suddenly it feels so much more drivable to me. But I'm going to give you Alan's picky point, and that is the stop-start system on this car. Stop at a robot at a stop street, it switches off easily, quickly, but there is a delay in the restart. And I found that quite irritating, and I could not find where to switch it off. It just couldn't find it anywhere on the car. Didn't have time to look at the manual, I'll be honest. So it's just my little picky point. The interesting thing being that JQ just launched the J7, which, okay, is a 5-seater, but adds the all-wheel drive, but then is powered by the 1.6-litre engine, giving 145 kilowatts and 290 newton meters of torque instead of the 187 390. So there's a big difference there if you need it, if you want it. But the J7 is a 5-seater, has the all-wheel drive functionality. But the other side of it is, the JQ comes in at 670,000 Rand. The front-wheel drive version of the Tiggo8 comes in at about the same money, and this one will come in at 731,000 Rand. So, question mark, do you need 5 or 7 seats? Do you want front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? And that's where you can see the crossover between the different models and where you can make your decision. As always, it's up to you. For Change Cars, for all things motoring, and for MotorMatters, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.